Right, in this lesson I want to revise with you the difference between the exclusive and the inclusive price and how you calculate. Now this is very maths orientated and it does overlap with what you do in maths. Remember the assumption I said to you long ago, that we will always take our starting point as 100%. So the exclusive amount, that is the amount of the goods or services that are being bought or sold without VAT included. On top of that 100%, they're adding on 14% VAT at the moment. And so our inclusive amount, the price that you and I will see when we go into the shop, will be the inclusive amount. In other words, 114%. Now you need to read very carefully whether they're giving you the exclusive or the inclusive amount. Because under VAT calculations, largely you're going to be asked to calculate how much is owing to SARS or how much you can claim back from SARS. So in this lesson I'm just focusing on the calculations. So I am referring to figures that are in your first question on VAT here, but I'm really just concentrating at this stage on how to calculate it. Now the first one, we've got VAT exclusive. So in other words, that 45,000 that I've got there is equal to 100%. The VAT, remember, is equal to 14% and the inclusive is 114%. So if this is equal to 100, I'm going to divide it by 100. In other words, you're like really solving for x. What is 1x or what is 1%? Now, you are going to times it by what do you want? Now, either you can calculate the VAT amount or you can calculate the VAT inclusive. It really makes no difference because the two will work out the same. So for now, I'm going to go to the inclusive. So remember, the inclusive is times 114. So going back, 45 is equal to 100, so you divide by 100. You want the 114, and that gives you an amount of 51,300. Or, as I said, I could have said 45,000 divided by 100 times 14. And if I only worked times 14, I would have been calculating the VAT amount. So the VAT amount is the difference between the exclusive and the inclusive. Now let's look at the next one. This one, you're given the inclusive amount. So you're given 27,360, but that is equal to the inclusive amount. So you're going to divide by 114. And again, you could go either way, but I'm just going to go times 100 because that will give me my exclusive amount. And the exclusive amount in this case is 24,000. Check yourself, because the exclusive should always be less than the inclusive. In fact, it has to be less. The difference between that is your VAT amount, 3360 in this stage. Now, the same principle applies if they give you the VAT amount. Ask yourself, what are you given? You're given VAT. VAT is equal to 14%. That's what the VAT amount is. Now, either times by 100 or times by 114. And so, if I'm timesing by 100, I'll get the exclusive amount of 22,000 plus the VAT, and I'll get 25,080. Or, had I times this by 114, I would have calculated the inclusive and then I would have minused. So there's one principle to remember. You will be given a figure. Say to yourself, what figure is that? And then divide by the relevant percentage and times by what are you trying to calculate. Now, if you can't get your figures right, it's going to affect all your VAT calculations and your questions. So focus on this and get this right before you go forward.